I see this pattern in EPC companies constantly. The owner is following every big problem, attending every client call, checking every drawing, every procurement decision, every site issue. And the mid-level managers, they are doing their assigned work, but they are not taking ownership of bigger responsibility. They are not thinking like leaders. I am Milind Bibikar and I work with mid-sized B2B EPCs. It's not because they lack capability. Most of these people are technically competent, experienced, and want to contribute more. The problem is, no one ever taught them how to handle leadership level responsibilities. Here is what most business owners don't realize. People don't automatically grow into leaders just because you have given them a title or a pay raise. Leadership is a skill that has to be developed systematically. So understanding the leadership gap, your mid-level managers are stuck in what I call is task mode. They execute well, but they don't see the bigger picture. They wait for instructions instead of anticipating problems. They bring you issues instead of solutions. This is not their fault. Most technical people are trained to follow specification, not to make strategic decisions. But running a business requires both. The goal is to develop them into what I call leadership level roles. Positions where they think strategically, own the outcomes, and develop others. These are the people who can eventually run major divisions of your company. So the systematic approach to leadership development. Step 1, set clear expectations and define success. Before you give them any new responsibility, you need to paint a picture of what success looks like. This is not about task completion, it is about leadership outcomes. You need to explicitly tell them how their role is changing from being an individual contributor to being reasonable, responsible for their team's performance. Understanding of not just how to do any task, but what are the implications of their decisions and actions on top line, bottom line, and reputation. Sit down with your mid-level managers and be very specific. So tell them, I want you to own the entire client relationship with ABC Engineering, from project kickoff to final delivery and also payment collection. Success means they see you as the primary contract, not me. I want you making decisions about project changes under 5 lakhs without checking with me. If there is a site issue, I want the client calling you first and you resolving 90% of the issues without escalation. Now, this conversation sets the foundation. They need to understand they are not just getting more tasks, they are stepping into leadership role with real authority and accountability. Now, step 2, step back and let them lead. This is the hardest part for the most business owners. You have to resist the urge to jump into everything every time for something that might go wrong. When they are handling a difficult client call, don't take over the conversation. When they are negotiating with a supplier, don't second guess their approach in the mid-meeting. When they are managing a project timeline, don't start making direct changes. Never bypass them. If you rescue them too quickly, you're teaching them that you don't really trust them to handle it. They will never develop the confidence in their own judgment. Step 3, coach them through their problems. When things inevitably go wrong, and they will, resist the urge to take the responsibility back. This is where the real learning happens. Instead of fixing it yourself, sit with them and coach them through it. Tell them, walk me through the thing that has happened here, or what options do you see for moving forward? If you were client, what would you need to feel confident about this? What would you do differently next time? Now, use these coaching techniques like asking open-ended questions, helping them think through consequences, and guiding them towards the better solution without just giving them the answer. The key is making them feel the weight of the outcome while supporting them through the problem-solving process. That's how responsibility actually develops. Now, step 4, develop their coaching skills. As these managers grow into leadership roles, they need to develop others too. Teach them basic coaching techniques, how to ask questions that make people think instead of just giving them directions, how to help team members solve problems rather than solving everything themselves, how to give feedback that develops capability, not just correcting mistakes. How to recognize and develop potential in others. This multiplies your impact. Instead of you developing everyone directly, you have multiple leaders who can develop others. Now, step 5, expand their leadership scope. Once they have proven themselves in one area, gradually increase their scope. Give them a second major responsibility. Let them hire and manage their own team members. Have them represent the company at industry events or with major clients. Include them in the strategic planning and major business decisions. Watch for the shift from bringing you problems to bringing you solutions and opportunities. And the payoff for you, when your mid-level managers develop into real leaders, you get your time back to focus on growth instead of daily firefighting. Your company can scale beyond what you can personally manage. Decisions get made faster because they know how to do it. Your people are more engaged because they have real responsibility. Your business becomes more valuable because it's not entirely dependent on you. Most importantly, you transform from being a bottleneck in your organization to being a person who develops other people to lead. But the reality check, not everyone will make this transition. Some people are great individual contributors but don't want to have any leadership responsibility. That's fine. You need both types of people. But for those who can make the transition, the investment in their development pays dividends for years. You're not just training better managers, you're developing the people who will help you build a company that can grow beyond that any one person can control. The question is not whether you have time to develop these leaders. The question is whether you can afford not